Thank you to the Friends of the Ayer Library for sponsoring this today, and thank you to Mo for coming out here and traveling up this way. We're going to talk about medicinal plants, and it's a beautiful, gorgeous day. I thank everybody for coming. And if you're interested in other programs that we have, like a mushroom walk in July, we have our summer reading kickoff on June 20th with a huge party in the parking lot of the Ayer Library. Anything like that you're interested in, you can find on our website in our events calendar. You also can get a newsletter, sign up for our newsletter, and we'll email it to you, and just take a look at our calendar. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Mo. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. Well, welcome. My name is Mo. I use they, them pronouns, and I work as an herbalist. So I work one-on-one with clients, supporting people with their health using plants. And then I teach classes all over New England. So it's fun I often get to go to new places, and I get to see them for the first time, and then get to explore the plants together. So it's sweet to be here. Okay, I want to start with this plant right here. This is a plant that I really love. There's some growing right here. There's some growing over here. I invite you, if you want, to try to find a leaf and pick one, and you can put it in your mouth if you'd like to and taste it. But feel free to check in with me to make sure it's the right plant. Yes. Yes. Yeah. What do you notice about the flavor or the color or the feel of it? Anything, any of your senses? It is, yeah.
Did not enjoy it.
Did not enjoy it? Yeah, that's a good observation for sure. Yeah.
The way I expect leaves to taste.
Totally, kind of like a leaf. Yeah.
It's rough on the bottom, like the.
Mhm. What about the mouthfeel?
Aggressive.
Yeah. Oh, can you say more?
Kind of scratchy.
Kind of scratchy.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. So these are older leaves. If you. Yeah, if I were gonna harvest these for food, usually I don't eat these just like this, but it's fun to do when we're doing this. Rather than harvest for food, I harvest some of those smaller leaves like that. It's a lot tastier. These ones are like a lot more medicinal, less tasty, I would say. But if you have it in your mouth long enough, you'll notice that at the end it gets like a little bit mucilaginous. Anyone noticing that?
Slimy?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the younger ones will get a lot more slimy. Yeah.
A lot more slimy.
Yeah, this is like very soft and I would say much tastier than this one. Okay. I can't talk while I'm chewing. So, anyone know what plant this is? This is violet.
Really? I wondered. It looks like a violet leaf.
Yeah, they get very large in like these kinds of areas, especially like in the shade here. They get larger because they're trying to catch as much light as possible. So yeah, have you grown violet before? Or, yeah, anyone have a relationship with violet?
I know you can eat the flowers.
You can eat the flowers and the leaves. Yeah, obviously, I guess. So the flowers have passed. The flowers come out like April, maybe late April, early May. And they are this gorgeous purple, and you can make a syrup with them, which I do by, I'll put I like to harvest about like a jar full of flowers and then pour boiling water over them, and then I'll let it sit for like an hour and then strain it out. And then when you strain it, the coolest part I think is that like the flowers that are left, they turn like white. There's like nothing left in them. Oh. Like it's all in the liquid. So the syrup's beautiful. It's like a bright blue, and if you like add any like acid, it turns like purple or pink. So it's really fun if you like. It's fun for like pink lemonade with kids. It's fun like for like cocktails with adults. Yeah, so it's really beautiful. It's very lovely, nice for like the respiratory tract. Very soothing to the throat. Helps get things out.
What does it taste like?
Well, I add sugar, so it tastes like sugar. But the flower themselves, they're kind of like taste like plant. Like it's not super strong, I would say. Yeah, like I added sugar to make it like a syrup because it's kind of like, then it's more shelf stable. You can keep it for longer. I don't add enough sugar to make it shelf stable because that's like so sweet, but I add enough sugar to like keep in the fridge for several months or whatever.
Oh, cool.
The leaf I use a lot for a few different reasons. One is that it's a lymphatic. So anyone know what the lymphatic system is enough to like maybe say a few words about it?
Cleans out your body, something like that.
Cleans out your body, totally, yeah. So we have our cardiovascular system, right? We have our heart pumps our blood, and then our blood flows through our veins, our arteries and our veins, right? It has a pump, so it's easy for it to flow because there's a pump. Versus the lymphatic system is what. So we think of our blood as like these tubes, like they're like tubes, but they're actually very porous, and there's there's fluids like seeping out of them all the time, and the lymphatic system picks it up and brings it back into circulation and cleans it up, and doesn't have a pump. So the difference between the lymphatic system is like it needs our movement to pump. So our muscles squeeze, and that's what pumps the lymphatic system. And so violet's an herb that helps move our lymphatic system. So if there's any like swollen lymph nodes anywhere, or edema, violet can be a really nice plant. And it comes in the spring, which is so nice because I don't know about the rest of you, but winter I'm kind of like sluggish and like so I haven't moved a lot, so my lymph might not be flowing as well, and also like often like sickness is in the winter, right? Like a lot of our immune systems in our lymphatics in our lymphatic vessels, and so a lot of plants that come out in the spring are lymphatic, including violet, that help like clean us out in the springtime, which is quite nice. Actually, did I go? Whatever. There's cool stuff everywhere. Sure looks like it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is echinacea. It's pretty sweet. Anyone worked with echinacea before? Have you heard of echinacea?
Are echinacea and coneflower the same?
Yes, they are the same. Yeah, so echinacea, so it's hard to tell right now. It's kind of nondescript. This one right here and that one right there. But once it flowers, it's very iconic. My favorite part of echinacea is like the feel of the seeds, like when it's very prickly. So yeah, it's coneflower is like the common name. Echinacea, so people think of, have anyone taken echinacea tincture before or like used it in any way or heard of it?
I've had it in tea before for like,
cool.
Throat.
Yeah.
I take a pill of it every other day.
Cool. Yeah. So echinacea is a plant. I work with echinacea primarily to stimulate the immune system. So when I think about the immune system, I think we sometimes we think of stimulate the immune system like that's like let's do that all the time. I don't think it's great to do that all the time. Like I think of phases of immune system. Like when you're not exposed to anything, when you're not exposed to infection, you don't feel sick, when you're just well, like I don't work with echinacea in those times. There's other plants that are like more long-term building for our immune system, but echinacea is really wonderful for the initial symptoms of infection. So I use it like, I guess I would say like two kind of times. Like one is like you're exposed to sickness. So that's like your kid comes home like all sniffly and you don't want to get sick too. And then two is like you feel that like whatever it is for you. Sometimes people it's like that, like the little feeling at the back of your throat. Some people it's like body aches. Whatever it is that's like a sign like, oh, I might be getting sick. That's when I use echinacea. And then once you're fully sick, I also don't use echinacea anymore because what it's doing is kind of giving your immune system like a kick in the butt. And so once you're fully sick, like you have a fever or whatever, like your immune system is fully kicked in the butt. Like it doesn't need any more. It's like fully, it's doing its thing. It doesn't really need, it doesn't need our support anymore. Or we need to support the symptoms. And there's different support that needed, but not to like push the immune system. So I think of echinacea for like those kind of two phases. And the part that I use is the root. You can also use the leaves. You can use the flowers, the seed. People make medicine with like the whole plant, which also is very effective. But the root is like the most potent, and it should taste gross. If it tastes good, it's not what you want. If it's like a little sweet, that's fine. Like you can add sugar to it, whatever. But like it shouldn't. What it does is it like kind of numbs your mouth and makes you salivate. It's very weird. Yeah, and like there's different qualities of echinacea. And I will say I don't buy the tea personally. If you look at this plant, you see how it has these red lines kind of coming up it? So it has an affinity for red lines in our body. So if you have an infected cut, and then you have those like red line, you know, have you ever seen that? someone has an infected cut and they start having a red line going up. So that's like a really bad sign, right? That's like a sign of sepsis, which we don't want. So that's like the infection's going systemic. So echinacea, like the plant's kind of telling us that it has this affinity for like those red lines going up our body. So I actually have used it for that successfully. I don't recommend. I go to the doctor, get antibiotics, but I have used it successfully.
So when you make a tincture, you soak the root in alcohol?
Yeah, you can get like 50-50 vodka or whatever. Or like I mean, yeah, I think 50-50 vodka is better than 80 proof vodka. So like most vodka is like 40% alcohol. It really wants a higher alcohol than that. So I think like if you can get like 100 proof vodka, that's like better for that. Yeah, if you're using the fresh root, then I get Everclear, and because the water from the fresh plant will. But yeah, you just like chop it up. I mean, so you can buy the dried root, and that's like a pretty
Where can you find Everclear near here?
Near Ayer, I don't know.
Near Massachusetts even.
Oh, Massachusetts, you can buy it. Like liquor stores will have it. Yeah. Yeah.
Or Total Wine.
Yeah,
What?
Total Wine probably.
Yeah, most
of them won't count. They won't.
Really?
No.
Oh, huh. Interesting. I buy it in bulk. I haven't bought it recently because I buy like many gallons at a time. So I don't know, but interesting.
New Jersey was the only place I knew who carried it.
Who?
New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, certain states have it, certain states don't have it. Massachusetts does though. Like it's legal in Massachusetts.
Okay.
It's not in New Hampshire. Crazy.
I would have thought New Hampshire.
I know. Yeah. No, it is legal. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I ask for it, they'll have like a little section in the back of the liquor store. But you can just I think the tincture with like if you're harvesting, you can dry the root and then use like 50-50 vodka. That's perfectly fine. Beautiful. People will cultivate so many different varieties of these plants. So you'll find like pink ones and purple ones, all kinds of ones. You want the most natural kind you can find because that's what we have the research on, right? Like that's what we have like thousands of years of use.
And that's the purple ones.
That's the purple ones, yeah. Okay. Because we breed plants to do all kinds of things, right? But like if it's not the traditional, if it's been bred to do something weird, it's not going to be. It's not like we don't know. Like if it's bred to we don't know what the chemistry of that will be. Like we just don't know. It could be better, but we just don't know. So I try to stick with the like classic one. Well, what do we know about? What can you see? What? Oleander. I don't know. It's in the mint family. So mint family, the way I know that is a few things. One is that it's very aromatic. Which doesn't tell us something in the mint family, but it gives us a sign that it might be. And sorry, I'm looking at these trees. So it tells us that it might be because it's like most mint family plants are aromatic. They're not all. Of course, there are other plants that are aromatic that are not mint family, but it's a kind of an indicator it might be. And the other thing that really tips me off is the square stem. So mint family plants all have square stems. I can pass this around if you want to look at the stem. It's square. You can feel it. And then the leaves come out like this, and they come out like this, and they come out like this. They kind of do this opposite thing happening. When it flowers, the flowers are a very classic mint family flower. So we're not going to see that right now, but yeah.
It has a bit of a bite to it.
Yeah, it's a little spicy, right? Yeah.
It leaves a good aftertaste.
Yeah. So I like this one in tea. This is bee balm, also called Monarda. I like using bee balm. It's tasty in tea. I like it with anise hyssop. If you've ever had anise hyssop, the two together are really nice because one's really sweet. Anise hyssop's really sweet and bee balm's a little spicy, so the sweet and spicy together is quite nice. It is really wonderful for getting gunk out of the lungs and easing spasms in the gut. And the way it does that is because it's aromatic. And so the aromatics in the plant are, in order for us to smell something, it has to enter our noses. And so in order for something to enter our noses, it has to be small because it has to be able to like exit the plant and enter and like fly through the air and enter our nose. So in order to like fly it through the air, like it has to be a small compound. It can't be like I don't know, calcium's not going to fly through the air, right? It's like heavier than that. So there's these tiny little aromatic rings, and they fly through the air, and they enter our nose, and they can get really anywhere in the body very quickly. So they even without tasting it, we're still smelling it, and we're getting it, like it's entering our body that way, and they can cross the blood-brain barrier. So sometimes I think of Monarda for things like if people want to like, it kind of has this upward energy. Some plants have like more of a downward energy. But it has like more of an upward energy, so it kind of has like this like helpful for like uplifting, helpful for like focus. Yeah, thank you for doing what you need to do for your bodies. I know, it's really hot. I know. We'll go look at these trees next. I don't think we're gonna walk anywhere because there's so much right here, and like I don't think when we start walking there's like a lot less. So we'll just like circle this area and like maybe walk down over there or something. But there's so much right here. So if I wanted to be stronger, I might combine it with thyme. Thyme's like maybe stronger in that way. Like culinary thyme. So thyme and bee balm together could be really nice. Like I might make like a I would imagine infusing them in vinegar would be quite nice. Like you put thyme and bee balm in vinegar and then let it sit for a while and strain them out. A while meaning like a couple weeks. And then add like equal parts honey. That would be so good. Yeah, that's something I would, yeah. I haven't made that exactly, but I've made things similar to that. And I feel like the flavors would complement too. And thyme's a little stronger at like getting things out of the lungs. They're both antimicrobials. They both are active against, they're pretty broad spectrum. So like bacteria, fungi, viruses. But thyme's a little stronger. So I think they would be really nice together. Yeah, and then like stomach. So like if our stomach is spasming, these tiny little aromatic molecules, what they do is they, so we have smooth lining that lines our whole gut. And so what they do is they irritate the smooth muscle, and then the irritation then causes relaxation. So it's kind of like if you ever like tense up all your muscles and then relax, right? It's doing that to your smooth muscles in your gut and then helping them relax. So it's easing spasms that way. Does that make sense? Yeah. So all mint family plants, the new leaves come out from the leaf axil. So there's like new leaves coming out there and there. So if I harvest right here, like I pinch the tip right there, then now it's gonna become a bushier plant. So there's like now 2 new stems will sprout. So it's actually beneficial to the plant to harvest. Oh. If you do it that way. People often want to like take the leaves, and that's not as beneficial to the plant. And so if I was gonna do it for food, I would just harvest it like that. This is a great time to harvest for food. Like if I was gonna make that like vinegar I was talking about, or like make tea or something, I prefer when it's flowering. It's just like I think it's like the flower also has a lot of like wonderful medicine. And the time to harvest the flower, and you harvest the flower and the leaves, so I harvest like both together, and like just as it's coming into flower. So not when the flower is like old and there's like it's kind of falling off, but when it's like about to open or just opened.
I didn't find it bitter once it's flowered.
No, I don't think it's super bitter. No, do you? Yeah. Huh, cool. Maybe you're just have a more well-defined palate than I do. Okay, we have 2 of these trees. Anyone have a guess of like what kind of trees these are? It might be a species, but like the
Maple.
Yes, they are maple trees. And so these are both maple trees, and they're often confused for each other. So it's fun that we have them both together, because this is a great like look-alike, determine what the differences are between these 2 trees. So one is native, and one is what I call a very enthusiastic transplant. I guess those are the main differences. So I'm curious, like, what do you notice about the difference between these 2 trees? Like, what do you see that's like look at the bark, look at the leaves. Like, how would you tell them apart? Like, how would you tell your friend, like, oh, I was next to this one, or I was next to this one?
This one has much more limbs coming off of it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's a great observation. Yeah. So yeah, they're kind of all branching off. This one has like this like long, big trunk. Yeah.
This one has like the little pod things, or like the wings I call them.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Are you seeing them already?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
The ones you
Wow.
could put on your nose.
That's wild. That's wild. Look, they've already gone to seed. Nice.
I don't know why.
So that's pretty impressive. So okay. So generally, if a plant's very enthusiastic, it reproduces very quickly. This one's already gone to seed. So that kind of clues me off to like one thing. Yeah, nice. Yeah, a little nose
nose
helicopter.
things.
Yeah, nice. This one we don't have seeds yet. What else? What about the leaves? What about the difference between the two leaves? They're very similar, eh? Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe the difference between two leaves. That's why it's really nice to see them together. What about the bark?
I mean, that one feels like you frosted a cake and put your fork through it.
Totally, yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Yeah. Another thing I'm noticing about this one is that the leaves are a little darker than this one. And there's a lot of more dead branches, which is really common of this tree. Is like it's very common in cities, and often it looks like a mess. There's like dead branches everywhere. So this is a Norway maple, and this is a sugar maple, and they're often confused for each other. But if you want to make maple syrup, you really want sugar maple, because Norway maples have like, I think it's like 80-to-1 versus sugar maples are like 40-to-1 in terms of syrup content. So like you have to boil twice as much sap to get syrup with the Norway maple. Yeah. I guess yeah, they do. They have like a little latex if you like pull the leaf off, versus the sugar maples won't have that. So that's like another ID, little milky sap. So yeah, you can show off to your friends now that you know which maple's which. So red clover is a phytoestrogen. So it has, which means it has like plant estrogen in it. Which one of my students, I have like, I teach like a year-long program with some students, and one of them recently was like, my friends made fun of me because they told me that clover's a girl's plant. And I was like, that just destroyed me. I went on go home. I was like yeah, because like people think estrogen, right? Then there's this whole freak out, right? There's like this big estrogen, like, you know, people freak out about hormones. But okay, first of all, humans have, like, we all have estrogen in our bodies. We all have testosterone. We all have progesterone, and they relate to each other, right? Like testosterone's constantly turning into estrogen in all bodies. It's turning into like DHT. Like it's like they're all related to each other, and they like move through each other, and they're all from cholesterol. So like it's all related. And then secondly, plant hormones are just not nearly as strong as human hormones. So like the phytoestrogens in red clover are like a much weaker form of estrogen than our human estrogen. And they're actually modulating. So if our human estrogen is too high, then red clover will bind to the receptors, and because it has a less effect, then our estrogen can't bind, and then we experience a lower estrogen in our body. Versus if our estrogen's too low, then it'll bind and like raise it up a little bit. So it's balancing. It's not going to push us too high or too low. It's really balancing. And so that's like, so if someone's using it, say someone's transgender and wanting more estrogen, it's like really not a good choice for that, because it's not going to do that. It's much more balancing. So I use it in people of all bodies who are wanting to like balance out estrogen levels for whatever reason. Yeah. So I love red clover tea. I think it's awesome, especially for hormone modulation. It's like a great way to eat red clover. For minerals, like minerals are hard to extract, right? Because it's like rocks. Like it's hard to extract rocks into like a liquid. Like it takes hundreds of thousands of years for rivers to do that. So if you boil water and then you put the red clover in there and let it sit for like 12 hours, you'll get a lot more out of it than if you just like do it for 10 minutes or whatever. Also, like vinegar is a great way to extract minerals, because it's like, think about like rusty nails, right? Like acid kind of wears away minerals pretty easily. Also just eating it's a great way to get minerals. But for hormone modulation, like the tea is great. I use it all the time. So
use the flower, the leaves, the roots.
Good question. Yeah, so I harvest primarily the flower, but I also would harvest like just as it's coming into flower, so it's the perfect time. Like I would harvest this whole, like I harvest that. That's what I would put in tea. Again, commercial quality is like super crappy and really expensive. Yeah, so, but it's so nice to just harvest yourself. So, and it's nice, it dries really well. It lasts like not super long, maybe a year if you do it well, but yeah. Red clover. So So this is a very enthusiastic plant. Yeah. I think like we often talk. I think there's a lot of like we put a lot of our human judgments of the world on plants, and often like the words we use for humans we also use for plants. Like we'll talk about like naturalized plants and invasive. There's like all these like whatever. All these words we use for plants, and so I like to think about. I like to call it like an enthusiastic plant. And I think if you're thinking about invasive plants in general, like we are the most invasive species, right? Like no species is as invasive as humans, and so I think it's important to like recognize our place in that, and see like what's the medicine, right? Like what's the medicine of this plant wherever it is. And so and I think it's also important to like also be real about like what these plants are doing, right? And so like this plant, like very little is growing under this, right? It's forming like a really dense hedge. We have some ground ivy growing there, which isn't growing anywhere else, which is interesting. Another enthusiastic, plant. So it's taking over this space from and keeping diversity out. That's like certainly true. And we can use it as medicine. So, as Melissa was saying, like that the shoots can be eaten. So the early shoots, right when they're first coming up, you can eat them. They kind of are like rhubarb-y. You can cook with them. And then it's called knotweed because it has these knots in it, right? And these knots are really great for once the stalk is dry, you can use this as like a compostable mold, like a mold to like pour, if you pour like say like you make candles, you can pour wax in there and then it'll make a candle that way. You can make crayons that way. I've made suppositories that way. You can use all kinds of things, and you can have different sizes, right? Of different mold sizes, so that's really nice. And the other medicine that I work with primarily is the root. So the root of Japanese knotweed is this amazing medicine. It's very anti-inflammatory. It's like a very powerful anti-inflammatory for like chronic inflammatory, like long-term illnesses. I think like chronic Lyme, long COVID. That's how I think about Japanese knotweed, especially chronic Lyme, because chronic Lyme is often like very hot and inflammatory. Versus long COVID is often really cold and inflammatory. That's exaggerated. That's a generalization. But what's interesting is that so knotweed and deer ticks have been spreading steadily in the same places. And as knotweed has like been like creeping north, so have ticks and so has Lyme disease. And so sometimes the medicine and like the poison are together. So it is antimicrobial. It's active against Lyme disease. People use it like on a tick bite or like immediately when they get a tick bite. I think of it I use it that way as well sometimes, but I think of it especially for like long-term, like chronic Lyme. I use it a lot more for. And yeah, it's just like really wonderful for like also for like cardiovascular inflammation. So any cardiovascular inflammatory condition. So especially if there's like hot inflammation in the cardiovascular system. So like you're like classic like like boomer father who like hasn't eaten a vegetable in 30 years and like has all kinds of like cardiovascular inflammation. This is like I think it's like the perfect plant for that. But yeah, so garlic mustard is like everywhere. I'm sure you've seen it. If you smell a plant, it smells like, and you're like, it smells like garlic, and someone else is like, it smells like mustard. It's garlic mustard. It is in the mustard family. It's great for pesto. So one thing that both garlic and mustard both have in them is sulfur. And so garlic mustard is rich in sulfur. And sulfur is very pungent. So instead of like how those aromatic molecules like getting things, like moving things, getting things out, garlic just does it in a really different way. It's like very like heating and like it just kind of like raises our body's fire and it clears out. It's just by the pungency and acridity is what clears things out. So it's great for like clearing out mucus. Great for like if you're someone who runs really cold. So echinacea is kind of like good for like hot people. If you're someone who runs really cold and you like, say you get sick like all winter, you're sick because you just like are cold all the time, and you like were out hiking and you got really, really cold and it rained on you or whatever. You come home, eat a bunch of garlic mustard if you have like pesto in the freezer or whatever. Like it's like that, or you should eat garlic or mustard. But it's a similar medicine to those, yeah. And like it will just clear, like it raises our body's fire and helps clear things out in that way. So great for someone who has like a low grade fever and you want to like raise up the fever a little bit and like sweat it out. Really nice for that. Yeah. What does this look like to you? Like, who does it look related to?
Tomato.
A carrot, yeah. Tomato. Yeah, totally. More carrot. But I see where you're going, yeah. So actually it's related to goutweed. They're all in the same family. So the family is the carrot family. And the carrot family we know because it has what's called compound umbels. So see how all of the flowers come out from one point here? And then here they all come out from one point again. It's like two. So an umbel is like an umbrella, like two umbrellas basically. So it's a one umbrella and then two umbrellas. So it's compound umbels. And then this one hasn't flowered yet, but it will. And this is Queen Anne's lace, also called wild carrot. So Queen Anne's lace is carrot. It's like the same species as carrot. It's just been bred to be, carrots have been bred to be orange and sweet, and Queen Anne's lace has not been bred to do anything. And yeah, so it's also, there's a lot of poisonous carrot family plants. So be very careful about carrot family plants, especially before they flower. There's a lot of ones that are very, very poisonous, like will kill you. So some of our most poisonous plants are in the carrot family. But Queen Anne's lace is distinguishable from the like poison hemlock, poison water hemlock, which are like the two most poisonous plants. There's also like other ones that are like won't kill you, but it will be unpleasant. Those ones will like kill you pretty quickly. This one's distinguishable because the queen has hairy legs. So the Queen Anne's lace has like hairy stems. But that said, if you're a beginner to harvesting, I don't recommend harvesting. That's Queen Anne's lace. Who's this? I think this is raspberry. So raspberry has like this like silvery underside. That's like a classic raspberry. Mm-hmm. So yeah, raspberry medicine. Anyone ever like eaten a raspberry before? Hell yeah. What about, it's about to flower. Look, there's a little flower. There's a little bud.
Starting to flower.
Yeah. Oh, and there's another fun one down here behind it. Cool. Great. Good find. Yeah, so raspberry, ever eaten the leaves before or drunk raspberry leaf tea before? So raspberry leaf tea is very common. It's because it has actually one of the only plants we have research on in pregnancy, because like we don't have research on medications in pregnancy, and like there's no money in plant research. So there's actual research in raspberry leaf in pregnancy, which is great. And what we know is that it helps make contractions more effective and shorten labor time. If it's taken in like the second and third trimester. I don't recommend any plants in the first trimester just because it's just not worth it. Yeah. I mean, unless they're like really needed. But if it's not worth it, it's not worth it. But second trimester can be really great to work, and third trimester can be really great to work with raspberry leaf. And you can just drink a tea of it. It works really well as tea. And bless you. And it, yeah, so it helps make, so by making contractions more effective, it shortens labor time, right? Because if you're like effectively contracting and not just spasming, you can push a baby out a little faster. And so like the part of how it does that is that it's astringent. So it has tannins in it. Anyone ever like use like an astringent on your face or like on any part of your body? Or yeah, so astringent is like plants that have tannins in them are astringent, which what that does is, so tannins bind to protein, and we have protein all over, like our skin's all protein, and like our we have protein, like what it does is it binds to protein and brings them together, so it tightens tissue by like binding to it. So the tannins in like red wine again, or like black tea has tannins in it, right? And so when you drink black tea, it kind of like makes your mouth pucker a little bit, right? But if you put milk in it, it's less because they're binding. So our saliva has protein in it, and so it binds to the protein in our saliva, and then we get dry. Versus if it binds to the protein in milk, then your mouth doesn't get quite as dry. So raspberry leaf is really wonderful for astringing both the gut and the uterus. So it's topical in the gut and then has a reflex action in the uterus. We don't actually absorb it at all. We just like eat it and then poop it right out, but it somehow has that reflex action of our uterus. And so by being astringent, it helps like tighten up tissue. So if like the uterus is a little bit like flappy oozy, or if like the gut's a little bit flappy oozy, if people have like leaky gut or like anything going on down there, what needs to be like tightened and have like more effective movement in the gut, that can be helpful there. Also good for menstrual cramps for that reason, because it helps like tighten tissue and help it be more effective. I find, although people say all the time that they take it for menstrual cramps when they have menstrual cramps and it works for them, I don't know if that's you, but I don't quite know what the mechanism is for that, because it's more of like I think it's more of a long-term tonic, but people seem to really have effects from it like immediately. So like I always teach about it, and maybe that's placebo, which is like the best studied, most wonderful medicine out there, or maybe there's like a mechanism that I don't know, but like there's definitely taking it like long-term for cramps. It's really effective. And then the other mechanism of it is that it's very mineral rich and particularly rich in magnesium. And look how like dark green it is, right? So it's a lot of like, you got like your butter lettuce, it's green, but it's like not that green. But these like dark green, like, so what does green mean in a plant? Chlorophyll, yeah, totally. And so chlorophyll is this like beautiful molecule, and at the center of chlorophyll is magnesium. So the more chlorophyll, the more magnesium in a plant. And magnesium is like super in these days because none of us eat enough dark green things, so we're all deficient. And magnesium is also really popular because it's a signal for our muscles to relax. So calcium's a signal for our muscles to contract, and then magnesium's a signal for them to relax. And so if we don't have enough magnesium, we just like literally can't relax. And so that's also why it's helpful for cramps, and also for like for childbirth, is that it tightens up tissue so that we can, or sorry, tighten up tissue we already talked about, but it helps our muscles relax. So if our muscles are super crampy and spasmy, it helps them relax. I love raspberry, and the fruits are amazing. Yeah, very antioxidant rich. Anyone give me permission to throw this plant at them?
Sure.
Oh, great. Okay, both of you? Great. Okay.
Oh. Wow.
This is called cleavers, because it cleaves to you.
Oh, yeah. Very sticky. That's cool.
Yeah. Someone told me it called Sticky Willy, too, recently.
Sticky Willy?
Which I guess makes sense. So this is cleavers, which is another really great lymphatic. So I would say this is stronger than violet. This is like, this is good. Like I think cleavers is like I'd say one of the stronger of like the lymphatics that comes out in the springtime. That's really helpful for like one of like the ones that are still like gentle enough to like consume regularly. It's one of the stronger ones. Similar, not moistening at all. Not really good to eat because of the texture, but you could do whatever you want. I put it in pesto a lot. The flavor is very neutral. So good in pesto, or you can like make tea with it, or what's really good is juicing it. If you like, I've never done it with a juicer. I've done it with like a grain grinder. I've done it with where like I was a ton and I just like ground it through the grain grinder. That juice is so potent, really great for moving lymph.
Very tiny little flowers on it.
Yeah, is that one flowering?
Yep.
Yeah, so they have
super small.
They have oh yeah, interesting. Yeah. So cleavers looks a lot like bed straw. So if you see a plant that looks like this but doesn't have the but it's not sticky, then it's bed straw probably. So yeah. You want your cleavers back? Sorry.
Do they call it bed straw because they would use it in bedding?
Probably, right? I kind of think of it as like animal bedding, because it's like always around. It's like always like growing in like animal field. Like I see it a lot in animal pastures or like around. I don't know, but I don't know. Okay, this plant here is a really fun one. It's kind of hard to tell right now, but I love it. So I guess I'll harvest some for you. So the smooth stem is one way to kind of notice this plant. Look at those nice leaves. It's really nondescript right now.
Yeah.
But it's about to have a beautiful yellow flower in like 2 months.
Yeah, I think we have a bunch of these at the Costco event.
I bet. This is goldenrod. So yeah, so I love goldenrod. Goldenrod's like the I wouldn't say they're herb skeptic. They're definitely not herb skeptic, but they aren't like taking all the weird things I make them all the time, right? But they keep goldenrod tincture in their pocket because it has such an immediate effect, right? And so for people who like forget to take their herbs sometimes, you don't forget to take your goldenrod because you notice it immediately when you take it. And what it does is, so it stabilizes our mast cells, which are our cells that produce histamine, and so it keeps them from producing histamine. So it just like soothes them, so they don't want to do that. And so it's really great for like any kind of like excess histamine reactions. So like allergies. So especially like seasonal allergies or like pet allergies, any allergies that are showing up in like less like GI stuff, more like respiratory stuff. But yeah, like I used to live with a cat, and like when people come over, I'd keep it in the kitchen, and people would come over and I just give them some goldenrod tincture, like if they like start, especially eyes watering, like that kind of thing. It's like super nice for, yeah. And you really need it fresh for that. Like the dry doesn't quite work the same way. So another reason to make a tincture, but like I was at a family reunion a couple years ago, and like there was like tons of goldenrod because it's like August, and then like there was like leftover vodka from the family reunion, and I was like, great. And so I just like stuffed the whole like bottle of vodka full of goldenrod. It was great. My aunt was like, what are you doing? I was like, don't worry about it. So yeah, you don't need like a super high alcohol like content. Like you definitely don't need Everclear, but like yeah, vodka's great. And yeah, fresh is best. It's also like antimicrobial, so active against like bacteria, fungi, particularly maybe viruses, I don't know. And so I use it for like, it also has an affinity for the the urinary tract, so like I use it for UTIs as well, because it's like nice to like stabilize that tissue too if it's like irritated. Yeah, kind of drying. Yeah. So raspberry, blackberry, they're all in the rubus genus. So yeah. And then this is so look at this beautiful flower. So what do you know about the flower? Does it tell you what family this plant's in? Strawberry, yeah, same family as strawberry. Yeah, would you?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so same family as strawberry. So it's in the rose family, actually.
Oh.
So the rose family, so strawberry, I think also might be a rubus. So I might be even closely related. But the rose family is like apples are in the rose family, pears, peaches, plums, they're all in the rose family. And so the rose family always has 5 petals. So that's like an indicative feature. And then it has what's called numerous stamens, which in botanical terms, numerous means more than 10. Yeah. So, and if you look at, doesn't it look like the bottom of an apple? Those like little stamens in there. You know how an apple like has those little stamens left? Yeah. So that's a key identifier. So that's rubus. Oh yeah, it's kind of mustard.
Pepper? No, that's not pepper.
It's in the mustard family. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like a mustard. This plant, I invite you not to eat or touch. Everyone know this plant? This is poison ivy. So yeah, there's like shiny little leaves, especially those like red, but then there's also some green. It's kind of hard to, like sometimes it disguises itself, but always looks a little shiny and kind of looks like it doesn't want you to touch it. It's poison ivy.
And when it climbs up stuff, it's got the hairy vine.
Yeah, totally. One is this white flower here. Anyone know who this flower is? Have you seen this before? It has these leaves, these like little, they're deceptively carrot looking, but they're not. Here, this is yarrow. So, yarrow, or yarrow, however you want to call it, I think of for so many things. One is blood. So, yarrow both stops blood and starts blood again. It does both. And so if we are bleeding too much like externally, yarrow can be internally too, like excess menstrual bleeding. Yarrow is really great for like slowing down bleeding. So if people are like, like I'll give it as like a tea or a tincture, however, like for like a week before someone's bleeding, and then like for menstruation, and then like during menstruation, can be really helpful for like slowing down bleeding. And then I also work with it, like topically. So if like say if you had like a bad wound and you wanted to stop the bleeding, it can be really helpful for that. And I have a colleague who's an herbalist who is like in the woods, and like when herbalists are in the woods, they like bring yarrow powder with them. And she had yarrow powder with her and like put it on the, someone cut themselves really badly, and she put yarrow powder on the wound, and like they had to like hike out several miles, and she just like packed the wound full of yarrow powder, and they hiked to the ER, and they got to the ER, and then like the doctor was like, what did you, like, why did you put, like, stuff your wound full of, like, powdered plant? Like, that's disgusting. And, like, of course, and, like, really annoying to clean out. And, like, so, like, validly was like, that's terrible. But then was like, and why isn't it bleeding? And so he kept being like, why did you do this? But, like, why isn't it bleeding? So I was like, yeah, so it really does work. And also, yeah, time and place for stuffing your wound full of plant powder.
Worse? Would you rather me continue to bleed?
Yeah, no, totally.
I'd rather you clean it out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but if you don't have to do that, maybe don't do that. Yeah, but sometimes you do. And then also for moving blood. So the way it does it is it opens up our it's a thank you. It's a vasodilator. So that our blood can flow more freely. So it's great for what I call trapped heat. So like if like I had a client one time who said like my core is a burning furnace, but my hands are always cold. That's like yarrow. And it really works. It really like helps like release that the like heat to the exterior. So also good for like fevers in that way. Yeah, it's a nice antimicrobial. It's powerful in that way. And nice topically. Also, we talked about tick bites. Or like there are some herbalists who like swear by like just using yarrow topically for tick bites, because it helps draw out like heat. I'm thinking of like Lyme disease, like a hot infection. So just putting yarrow on topically helps draw out the heat. So yeah. And here's another plant we can look at. Here's like the flower and the seed of this plant. This is plantain, and there's different kinds of plantain. There's like the broadleaf plantain, which it grows in like very stepped on places. And there's like the longleaf plantain. So this is the longleaf plantain. Here's like a nice plantain. Longleaf. Here's the flower. You can weave with the stems. They're really nice for weaving, like really like small detail work. I made a basket recently, and like we did like the very inside area with this plantain. But the longleaf, the leaves are just like amazing. Kind of like, they're very similar to calendula. They're not lymphatic in the same way, but they really help heal tissue. So it's just like topical healing. So like I put plantain in people's tea all the time, because like how many people do you know who like have inflamed gut linings? It's really nice, and what it does is it like sloshes around in there if you make tea, and it like, gets in all the crevices, and so it like really helps like heal the lining. Yeah.